there's an awful lot of people now that are really interested, especially with the pandemic and not being able to do some of the things that we used to do, to observe the whales. And so we share our sightings from South Shore, so that people can get to that place and take a look. And last Saturday, I was at Aswood Park for 4.5 hours, and there were people there with binoculars sitting down, and people arrived with chairs with their kids, and it was just to take a look at the whales going by. Dianne, I've been doing this for 15 years, and if I can't get on the water, and I know there's whales out on South Shore, I'll spend 4.5 hours just looking at them, even if they're a mile off, because I'm just so happy to see that they're in the water. But you know what? I see that this is an interest, a passion that's shared by a lot of other people. What is clear is their lives are highly complex. They are coming up here. They've been starving down south for 4 or 5 months. One of the first things I discovered is that they're feeding on the edges here, on the upwellings. So you'll see typically 2 whales on the edge, and they'll dive down, they'll fluke, and they'll come back up about 8 or 11 minutes later. They're clearly feeding, and they're getting a relatively good amount of food, but they don't want to delay too long before heading up north where the main supply is. Some of the whales are resting here, especially the mothers and calves. They've come 1,000 miles or almost 1,000 miles. Some of them have got at least 1,000 miles to go or more. So they're resting here. But one of the most interesting things, I think, is that they could be aggregating here to move further north in convoys, because well over half of the humpbacks that we see here have got orca bite marks on them, and this is from somewhere up north. And so it makes sense, especially for a mother with a calf, not to continue her journey from here without being in the presence of other whales.
How much longer are we going to see the whales, and when will the actual season pretty much end?
The season will be pretty well over by the time this lockdown is done. You'll find a few stragglers, but it's not going to be... the best weeks are the last week of March and the first week of April. And then very quickly the numbers start thinning out. But you can be lucky. You can come across the 7 whales that are still in Bermuda in one clump and think there's lots of whales. Or you could be spending the whole day out there and see nothing. But the numbers have and will continue to thin down now.